Everyone, my name is Paige Hunter, and today I'm going to be talking about diversity in movies, both on screen and off. So let's dive into things. The issue at hand is diversity basically in all aspects of the film industry. This includes off camera with producers, directors, writers, basically anybody you see in the credits that isn't actually on camera. And then it also includes the actors that you do see on camera. Specifically, this issue is affecting women, people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, and people with disabilities. As of lately, people are only brought in when necessary, when they need someone of color to fill a specific role to fit the plot, or they may need someone with actual disabilities to fit a role. Which is very unfortunate. They're not being brought in for their talent and for all that they have to bring to the table. They're being brought in because they're necessary, or they're deemed necessary, I should say. We have just seen a decline in the industry over the years, especially recently. After 2023, that was a very big year for diversity in film, but since then, there has been a decline for no apparent reason, truthfully. So, diving into the true issue, Darnell Hunt from the UCLA industry states films that embrace diversity are more likely to resonate with audiences, leading to box office success and ultimately long term sustainability for the industry. So, this basically means that the more diversity that is included both on screen and off screen will produce more success for the industry. People have a desire to watch films that reflect themselves, their storylines, and the multicultural community that they're involved in, that they've been brought in. We are a very multicultural society. We have the privilege of having people of all colors, disabilities, identities in our society, and people want to see themselves in films. They don't want to just see the same people, the same stories over and over again. So this issue really goes deeper than the lack of representation of women, specifically and people of color in films. Um, we have seen a big missed opportunity to grow audiences both domestically and overseas because of this lack of diversity. And this includes the misrepresentation and non representation of LGBTQ plus and people with disabilities. They're being overlooked. Those roles are being filled with people who don't truly fit that category. People in films who may have a disability are being acted by people who are perfectly fine. Same thing with LGBTQ plus roles. There are many individuals who are filling those roles who identify as straight. So not only these stories are being told, but not correctly, and in turn, it's discriminating against these people who truly identify this way and do fit this category. So, what impact does low diversity have on marketing? Basically, low diversity is going to hurt the film industry as a whole. We're going to see less and less people of color, less women, less LGBTQ plus, less people with disabilities going to these films and spending their money to to watch these, which means that at the end of the day, there's going to be less money going into the industry, and we're just going to be at a standstill. But if campaigns and promotional materials are used to represent this society, then there's hope for the future of society, which has to include diversity. The reputations of these very prestigious companies could be on the line if not, because people are going to stand up, they're going to revolt. People are already very upset and frustrated that there's not more diversity in film. I found that the majority of moviegoers are actually women and people of color. So when women, people of color, are not seeing female producers, people of color who are producers, writers, directors, those women, people of color, LGBTQ plus are not on the big screen or behind the big screen and getting the credit that they deserve for their hard work, they're going to stop going altogether. So, this lack of diversity honestly poses a huge risk to the marketing for the film industry because of a big loss of revenue that could happen. When there is no money, nothing happens. People don't get paid, movies don't get made. So ultimately, diversity, low diversity, and lack of and no change at the most drastic could shut down the film industry. So let's talk about an integrated marketing plan that we can use to address this issue that is posing as a severe risk to the film industry. So, using content, I think a focus on storytelling is what's most important here. This would specifically focus on women, people of color, LGBTQ, and people with disabilities. By highlighting those untold stories, what they've been through in life, how they got there, why they're in the industry, and just these different perspectives, I think it will shine a whole new light on just how important they are to the industry. Um, Basically, making them the highlight of all marketing materials, at least for a little bit. And I'm not saying you do this and don't highlight other individuals, but I don't think there's enough highlight on these people. And that's part of what some of the backlash is about. Using short interviews, behind the scenes, and features with these cast and crew members, as well as creating a very diverse yet authentic image of who they are and their role, will just help kind of show that the industry cares about this low diversity and they want to address it. Additionally, diversity is a big selling point for the film industry, and marketing has to take an active pursuit for inclusivity. And it's not going to just start with marketing, but marketing is a key role and contributor to that. Moving into Conduit, partnering with diversity focused streaming platforms and outlets would be the main goal for this plan and campaign. Basically, targeting on social media would also be a really vital tool to reach those multicultural audiences, which would also happen through those diversity focused streaming platforms. We really just want to bring in more diversity through the audience because they are going to have the biggest opinion about who they see in films and who's behind the scenes, and they're going to be big advocates for that change. And ultimately, this would bring in just a more diverse group of viewers, as I've already mentioned, and it just holds the companies accountable for what needs to happen in the industry. For consumption, social media campaigns would be a huge success and help to this. It would share how every person's story matters and how everyone basically deserves to see someone who looks like them or shares the same struggles or grew up like them on the big screen or behind the scenes of a big blockbuster film or a TV show. The ultimate goal is just to shift the perspective of the audience to expect diversity. We want it to be normal. We want diversity in marketing visuals to be something that everyone expects. By doing this, we educate the audience of the value of sharing the underrepresented story. And again, we rewire their brains and we make them expect it because it should be expected. Everyone should be represented in film. But I think that the audience has to take charge and has to hold the companies and the film industry accountable for this change that has to occur. And last, convergent. We want to share the ultimate story of a unified nation with many stories to tell. Everyone has a different story. They all deserve to be told. Everyone deserves to chase their dreams and have a successful future. And so by sharing those stories, we share real people. Podcasts and docuseries on diversity in film would also just help bring the problem to light. Again, We're exposing where the system did wrong. We're holding them accountable to change. And when this plan is implemented, the inclusivity of a multicultural society will promote understanding within the people and hopefully within the industry. We want the industry's eyes to be opened up of the importance of diversity in film and that it should be necessary. It shouldn't be a check off the box. It should be something that is implemented in every movie, every TV show, every film, because those people deserve to be there because they have the same and equal rights as does everyone else. To wrap things up, diversity is something that will always be an issue, unfortunately. It's something that our nation, our society, have struggled with for a long time, and I think that we will continue to fight it, and it will continue to be an issue. However, us as the consumers, the audience, the people, we need to fight for the change that we want to see. If we don't speak up, then we won't see that change, and everyone deserves to have an equal opportunity, no matter their lifestyle, what they look like, what gender they are. Everyone deserves to be seen, heard, and represented. Without this change, though, I do think the industry will continue to see a decline. There will be less people who watch the movies. There will be less people who even want to be a part of these movies because of the unwillingness to change and be inclusive. So with all that to say, I think that diversity in films is a big issue at hand, and I think it needs to be addressed. But I also think that us as people need to understand how big of an issue this is, and we need to speak up and we need to fight for it. Thank you.